My name is Ramsey Nasser, and I'm a game designer based in New York City. And I like coming to these events because just part of the scene, and I like to hear my friends and people that I'm a fan of talk. But hearing about Ramiro's digital prototyping process kind of made me rethink that a little bit. I've been a friend of Ramiro's for a while and a fan of Hokra since he started working on it. It was really great to hear his process and the story behind it. It was the first time I heard the specific story about his first playtest and how he actually made it for no quarter. So it's just great to hear the history behind the game that I'm a fan of.
It didn't come naturally or easily to me, and maybe I should have made that more clear when I was speaking, because it's a lot of work. You hit walls and you hit your head against the wall, and sometimes it's like, it's 2 a.m. and you just hate life because you're trying to program and trying to make things work. I really want people to realize how joyful it is and how in the end it's pleasant. It's difficult and there's a lot of work, but it's pleasant. It's like if you're playing soccer or you're playing basketball, it's not easy to score a basket, right? But it feels good. It feels good to play basketball. And nobody's gonna say basketball is easy, but basketball is enjoyable. And coding feels a bit like that to me. It feels like it's something that takes a lot of work, and there's a pretty big learning curve, but it's learnable, and I feel like it's learnable to everyone. When I was learning how to program in the very beginning especially, and still now, but in the very beginning even more, I was getting so much advice from coworkers, right? Or from ex-coworkers or from friends. And then in terms of just community overall, it helps my design thinking. It's a little bit about hearing people talk, and it's a lot about becoming part of a community. Just being around people is I think, really important for making better games. Talking to them really drives you forward. So, and the New York academic scene with, especially like what NYU and Parsons are doing right now is a huge part of that.
I'm a big fan of Ramiro's work. Hokra is amazing. Everyone should play it. I was really excited to hear that he became a programmer and is really excited about programming as more of an art than just a limitation. Everyone who wants to make games, whether it's analog or art games or anything, they should all learn how to program because it's a really useful skill to have, especially for prototyping. And don't be afraid of programming. It's a really great thing to do, and it's challenging to learn sometimes, but I think the payoff is really great.
I work in the game industry with Ramiro for 5 years at a video game company called Powerhead Games. For students, it's a good opportunity to meet people who are actually in the industry, and I guess see what real people in the real world do. If I knew about events like this when I was in school, I would probably go to some of them, especially if it's a topic that I'm interested in, like games.
I'm a game developer at Arcadium, and I've gone to a lot of these indie tech talks here at NYU Poly, and they're all really awesome. I know Ramiro, and I've played Hokra before, and it's a really awesome game, and it's great to hear his kind of funny takeaways and processes and learning about that. I also think it's really important for everybody to learn programming, so that was a great takeaway. So these tech talks are really great because they bring in a lot of really interesting people and getting different perspectives and continuing education, no matter if you're a student or if you're in the industry. It's really great to listen to all these really awesome people talk about their process and their thinking and their perspective on things. So it's really great to come to them and listen to the discussions, and there's always something to take away from these talks.